Morning to all. Sorry, the management called me in between, so I had to leave. So I'm so sorry. Matlab, I was not there, but these responsibilities are also there. So uh, now I request the session to be started, and we are so proud to have our honored guest over here. Kindly proceed, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mrs. Archana Gupta, madam, kindly start your presentation, please. You are not audible. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you very much, Dr. Salah, Dr. Santosh, Santosh Medical Hospital and Delhi Diabetes Forum. I'm really obliged to have you and have myself on this portal. Thanks, Surbhi, to give me such a wonderful introduction about myself. So I'm not going to take much time. Let's start with the topic. My topic is, as Surbhi has already said, this is about the diet in diabetes, the neglected component in diabetes management. As we all know that people with type 2 diabetes can use pills to manage their diabetes. People with type 1 diabetes must use insulin. Diabetes pills don't work alone for everyone. Some need combination of treatment. These pills work best when used with meal planning and exercises. This way we have three therapies working together to lower our blood glucose levels. As you all eminent doctors must be knowing that many times patients come whenever we ask what you are taking care of about the diabetes. Most of the time they say, yes, sir, I am taking this medicine, I am taking these pills and I am doing well. But they never talk about that I am taking care of my diet and I am regularly doing some exercises. All the doctors say about them that beside the medicine, you need to take care of your diet as well as the exercise. Here, the role of dietitian or role of us come ahead, and we need to take care of the patient, and we need to elaborate all the things about the diet, what has to be taken, what has not to be taken, and why this has to be taken, so that they can really understand that really the diet has a very important role in controlling your sugar level. The only medicine cannot control your sugar level just by popping up the pills, right? So firstly, I would like to share here food and drug interaction. Like whenever we take the medicine, we suggest the patient take the tablets with the first mouthful or immediately before each of the three main daily meals, right? Help the pancreas to release more insulin. Take the tablet before meals, enhance insulin action, and help the body to use glucose more effectively. These medicine that works for them, the right insulin or medication program can make a big difference at what time they are taking and how much amount they are taking. So all the amount or whatever medicine to be taken is all depend upon the what they eat exactly, right? So we suggest them to eat breakfast every morning and all the meals eat in time to get all the nutrients as medicine may reduce bioavailability of some nutrients. Most of the time we suggest to the people, to the patient, that we should avoid the medication along with the food because medicine may hamper the bioavailability of some nutrients. But in the case of diabetes, most of the time doctors suggest that we need to take the medicine just prior to the food intake. So there is a very much important role of food. So here I can share you what is diabetic diet. I'm just sharing my views. Whatever the different purviews are there, just please share with me as well. A diabetic diet is a diet that is used by people with diabetes mellitus or high blood sugar to minimize symptoms and dangerous complications of long-term elevations in blood sugar. Like because of these high level of blood sugar, cardiovascular disease, kidney diseases, obesity, and so many other complications may arise that they all you must be knowing. For overweight and obese, people with diabetes, the most important aspect of any diet is that it results in loss of body fat. losing body fat has been proven to improve blood glucose control and lower insulin levels. So first target is that if the diabetic patient is overweight or obese, we should guide them to just first reduce, along with the medication, you reduce your weight so that you can easily manage your sugar level, right? Second thing, most agreed upon recommendation is for the diet to be low in sugar and refined carbohydrates. While relatively high in dietary fiber, especially soluble fiber, likewise, people with diabetes may be encouraged to reduce their intake of carbohydrates that have a high glycemic index. So we need to tell them that high glycemic index food or food in low in fiber has to be avoided, and we need to consider all the aspects of carbohydrate, proteins and fats in their diet. What meals on diet in diabetes, usually blood sugar starts to rise 10 to 15 minutes after a meal and reaches its peak after an hour if carbs were eaten. At 2 hours, protein begins to break down into blood sugar, so one may begin to see some food effect. Test both before and after your snack and see what difference in readings you may notice, so that we can understand that how much carbs we have taken. If sugar level is immediately shoot up, then definitely there is the carbs portion is more instead of proteins, right? For most people with diabetes, meal times should space out through the day like this. Have breakfast within an hour and half of waking up, or we can say 1.5 hour to 2 hour breakfast should be taken by the patient. And the meals, whatever they are taking, the main meals, like I'm saying, breakfast, lunch and dinner, the gap should be 4 to 5 hours after that. Okay. So in between, if they are feeling hungry, they need to take the healthy snacks in between the meals to avoid the hunger pangs. So what is the diet in diabetes? Carbs, protein and fat are the macronutrients that provide energy. As we all know, carbohydrates are coming from mostly from the cereal grains, right? Like all type of cereals, but especially what patients or we eat mostly the wheat and the rice. Some of the very few people are only eating the small millets, or we can say small grains like oats. Nowadays oats also people are taking, but we can say like our Indian staple foods, bajra, jowar, ragi and even the makka. So the winters are have started. We should suggest our patients all the time they should eat all the small grains along with their normal routine food like wheat and rice. Rice they should avoid, that I agree. But if we are taking the parboiled rice, or we can say the whole this brown rice, that is better because that is again having a little bit higher side of fiber, right? So we should tell the patient always that you should take the high fiber content or whole carbs, or we can say the complex carbs, right? Among them, carbs have the greatest effect on blood sugar by far. This is because they are broken down into sugar or glucose and absorbed into bloodstream. Carbs include starches, sugar and fiber. However, fiber is not digested and instead absorbed by body in the same way other carbs are. So it doesn't raise blood sugar. That's why I am suggesting again and again, we should take the high fiber content whole carbs. Subtracting fiber from the total carbs in a portion of food will give its digestible or net carb content. Like I can say, if some food, or if a cup of mixed vegetable containing 10 grams of carbs and 4 grams of fiber, so its net carb count is only 6 grams, right? But we can say that the person is taking 10 gram carbs and fiber is there, so the sugar level is going to be shoot up little bit slower pace, and the person who is taking high fiber content food, their sugar level may not shoot up to that high rise level, and along with that, with the fiber content and the nutrients, vitamin and minerals, whatever is coming from those vegetables, that is much more beneficial to improve the immunity. When people with diabetes consume too many carbs at a time, their blood sugar levels can rise to dangerously high levels. So over a time, High levels can damage body's nerves and blood vessels, which may set the stage for heart disease, kidney disease, and other serious health conditions. Maintaining a low carb intake can help prevent blood sugar spikes and greatly reduce the risk of diabetes complication. So we should tell all the time to the patient that if their sugar level is high, they should take it to the dangerous level. They should consider it is not good for their health. Sometimes people may say that, sir, you just increase our medication level, or I will pop up the medicine, no issues in that. But if continuously sugar level is high or spikes are coming, that definitely hazard their health condition. Therefore, it's important to avoid the foods and drinks like. Before telling you what to avoid, we should take into consideration, as we all know, around 60 to 65% should be from the carbs of the diet, or we can say required according to the patient requirement. 10 to 15% is the protein, and rest is the calorie count from the fat component, right? Everybody know nowadays, or see in the Google, like what is the requirement, what can we eat, what cannot we eat. But why we cannot eat some things, suppose we need to know these basic parameters, so that it come into the mind always that this is the reason these foods should be avoided. That's why I'm focusing on what to avoid specifically. Everyone can have all the food naturally available in the surroundings of our vicinity. There is no need to eat South Indian food in North India. If we are living in North India, that is really wonderful thing. Whatever is available in our vicinity, that is very good for our absorption, for our body, and it will give more nutrient than whatever eat we are from the south. So we can consider all type of food from all over India, but the staple food is good and the freshest thing we can have, because this is more important thing. Like whatever is available naturally in a nearby vicinity, we eat, so the nutrient loss from that food due to the storage or due to the processing may not reduce. So we should consider the high maximum nutrient value, and we will take and avail the maximum benefit from that food, right? So now I will come again to the same point, what to avoid and why to avoid. First thing is, the most important is the sugar sweetened beverages. Most of us mostly say, like, I am eating this thing, I am taking just the laminate, but we don't take into the labeling. We should take the consideration. We should tell the patient, if you are taking any processed food or packed food item, you should watch for the labels, how much carb count is available there. Like sugary beverages are the worst drink choice for someone with diabetes. Yeah, that everybody knows, right? But first, they are very high in carbs. With a 12-ounce can, cola provide 38.5 grams. Same way, sweetened iced tea. Sometimes people say, no, I am not drinking cola, but they are taking iced tea. That is sweetened. They don't see the level for that contain more than the cola, 45 grams of carbs, exclusively from sugar. Laminate from sugar, 45 grams of carbs exclusively there. So sodas and sweet drinks are high in carbs, which increase blood sugar level. Also, their high fructose content has been linked to insulin resistant and an increased risk of obesity, fatty liver, and other disease. Second thing is the trans fat. That you all know, trans fats are unsaturated fats. Hydrogen is combined to the vegetable oil, or we can say the unsaturated fat oils. So that have been chemically altered to increase their stability. They have been linked to inflammation, insulin resistance, and increased belly fat and heart disease. So trans fats are found mostly in margarines, peanut butter, spreads, creamers, and frozen dinners. Nowadays, because of our very hectic schedule, and sometimes we used to just take the breakfast, we are not able to prepare the breakfast. What we can do, we are just taking the breads or anything, top up with some margarine or some spreads, and just eating that type of vegetable sandwiches or something, and just moving around. But we don't forget, we must take care of that thing. If we don't forget, the trans fats are in very much higher amount in all these type of spreads or margarines or peanut butter even. white bread, rice, and pasta. These all are the processed foods. So these are contain high in carbs and yet low in fibers. So this combination can result in high blood sugar levels. Alternatively, choosing high fiber food, as I'm saying again and again, whole foods may have reduced blood sugar response, reduction in cholesterol, improved good microbiota, which may lead to improved insulin resistance. Fourth one is the fruit flavored yogurt. Nowadays, people are really fond of flavored yogurt. That because market is full of different type of variety of yogurts. But we should take into consideration that fruit flavored yogurt are usually low in fat. That's correct. But they are really high in sugar, which can lead to again high blood sugar and insulin levels. Plain whole milk yogurt is a better choice for diabetes control and overall health. What we can do here, we can just prepare milk yogurt from the toned milk or double toned milk at our home only, and we can add on fruits in that, right? Or sometimes we can, if you like really much, you can use essence to add on the flavor in that. You can use dalchini powder, you can use elaichi, cardamom powder, natural flavors to relish your food. Okay, I'm not saying just to you to eat the food bland, but you should suggest to your patients, don't take food as a blend. You can do wonders. You can do so many variety of cooking or preparation methods that is very much beneficial to us. Fifth is the sweetened breakfast cereals. Many breakfast cereals are high in carbs but low in protein. High protein, low carb breakfast is the best option for diabetes and appetite control. So we should take into consideration high protein foods. I'm just going to share a few pictures later about the high protein breakfast items. Sixth one is the flavored coffee drinks. Like most of the people nowadays, variety of coffee is also available in the market, and we used to go to the market and try to have different cappuccino, latte, and so and so. And so much cream is there, so much sugar is there, which can rise blood sugar level and fail to satisfy our hunger as well. So flavored coffee drink is really high in liquid carbs. Now people are also using instead of sugar different type of sweet things like honey, agave nectar, maple syrup, and so many things. These are they are not as processed as white table sugar, but they may have similar effect on blood sugar, insulin, and inflammatory markers. You can see just they are just white sugar is containing 12.6 gram of carbs. Here honey is having more than that. Even maple syrup is more or less equivalent to white sugar. So we should not take all these type of things as well. Yes, with the sugar, we can substitute with the sometimes if we are patient is having hunger pangs or just feeling to have something sweet, they can have the gourd or something little bit amount, but they should consider that sugar level is again there along with some minerals or some other benefits from that thing, right? Dried foods, packaged snack foods, French fries, so many, all these things are also to be avoided, as they all, you can see the dried fruits. I'm talking about the fruits in the dried stage, not the dry fruits. Okay, dry nuts are different. So dried fruits are when they are concentrated, sugar level is also again high. Packaged snacks, as you all know, processed foods and refined flour is used for that. That is again going to add on the blood sugar level. Same thing you can see with the French fries. Potatoes themselves are relatively high in carbs. One medium potato contains around 34.8 gram of carb, 2.4 of which come from fiber. However, when they have been peeled and fried in vegetable, spike up the sugar level to very much high level. So what should be dietary practices in diabetes? Diabetics dietary practices are mainly influenced by cultural background that you all know. Concerning each of the dimension of dietary practices, there were significant positive relationships between knowledge regarding diabetic diet and dietary practices. Knowledge was a silent feature related to dietary behavior control. Moreover, patients' knowledge on a recommended diet indicates their understanding of dietary guidelines, which influenced their food selection and eating patterns. That is much more important. They should understand. why we are recommending these type of diet to them, right? The trend of skipping breakfast has dramatically increased over the past 10 years in children, adolescents, and adults. As you now, you must be saying, we also, like with the very busy schedule, most of the time we skip the breakfast. That is really very bad habit for us. It is going to be affect our body metabolism. In addition, frequent eating or snacking may also increase the body weight and risk of metabolic diseases like diabetes. Here I am just sharing from my own kitchen. Like in the morning tea, most of the people ask what we can eat with the tea. As you all say, tea should not be taken alone. So some of the few examples are here. Instead of biscuits and rusk, what you can take. Here I have shared flax seeds, that is roasted one, on the very slow heat. Roasted methi seeds, wheat grass, I have grown at my home itself. And here is the foxnut, roasted plain one, and the little bit foxnut with the coating with the this good. So if you are feeling very much hungry for the sweet tooth you are having, so you can have just a 5-6 pieces of this foxnut, and it is going to give you calcium as well. Along with that, roasted peanuts, one handful can also be taken. 1 tablespoon of mixed nuts and oil seeds. Like seeds I have shared here is sunflower seeds, your melon seeds, till seeds, sesame seeds is also there. So many seeds you can just roast different portion in the slow heat and combine it and keep it in a airtight container. You can have 1 tablespoon or around 10 to 15 gram with the tea. This is a very wonderful examples we can have in the morning tea, right? So to kickstart our morning. Second, I'm sharing just the breakfast options here. One is the very easy to prepare milk with some porridge. Though I don't suggest to take on a frequent basis, but sometimes if you are in a hurry or patient is in a hurry, they can take the milk cornflakes, milk oats or something. But keep in mind, the should check the label that it should not be sugar coated. This should be plain of any type of breakfast cereal, along with some fruits, or they can have some sprouts. Here you can see the jowar, and you can prepare quinoa, jowar, or any type of upma. Here we have prepared this vegetable chila mixed of the besan. You can prepare this. We can prepare many type of options with the chilas, mix of different type of atta or dal or anything. The South Indian dish I have also given into consideration, as we can prepare it on the non-stick, and this is low in fat as well. And with the sambar, if we are taking so lots of vegetable, or we can do the vegetable stuffing in the dosa, it is going to be give a much more benefit to us. Then we have prepared the, if someone is a non-vegetarian, they can prepare the egg with a very low heat. They can prepare the egg, boiled egg they can have, or they can have the egg omelette without the oil, and along with the mixed grain, this pancakes. They can have poha, they can have the vegetable bambino. So many options are there. Even we can have the paneer stuffed sandwiches or paneer stuffed chapati along with some vegetable or curd or raita, right? Some mid-meal snacks I'm sharing here, like in between the breakfast and the lunch, or lunch and the dinner. If a patient is feeling hungry, they can go for the dhokla. Why I have shared about the dhokla? That because this is prepared from the besan, but I should recommend don't use marketed dhokla, because sugar syrup is added in that. You can prepare very easily at home with the chana dal, or with the suji, or with the besan, or now with the makki ka atta as well. Because this is the winter season, it's really wonderful and healthy breakfast snacks. Fruits combination can be taken, or different type of fruits in separate condition they can be taken. We can avoid specifically banana in this season, and because most of the this mango, lychees, and now is not available, so we should recommend, except the banana, any fruit available in the market can be taken. Soups can be also be taken, bhel puri can also be taken, sprouts can also be taken. You try different things in the kitchen, whatever type of sprouts you can prepare. Keep on imagining and keep on doing the this different type of practices. So you will really love the different type of sprouts, not only with the chana, not only with the moong, even with the masoor, even with the wheat, even with the soya bean. You will get really wonderful sprouts. You can add as much as of the vegetables in that, and you can have wonderful snacks, so that it will also, these all are rich in actually fibers, so you will also not get the too much hunger during the main meals, and it will reduce the carb counts. That is the main function, to have the mid-meal snacks. In the roasted bhel puri section, I can suggest you can we can add on this murmure, we can add on roasted one chivda, we can add moongfali, we can add this kya kehte hain, chana, any type of thing, whatever is available at your home, along with whatever vegetable you want to add on. Even I have not added, sorry for the paneer type of thing. You can prepare tandoori preparation with the vegetable and paneers, or the sometimes with the soya bean. That is really good for snacking, right? Main meal option, I am sharing just a few here, like different type of chapatis I have shared, mixed grain chapati, bajra chapati, and this is here the jowar chapati in the end one. This food platter is all from my home itself. I have tried so many things from my home, so that I can just be more connected with the diet, and people can understand really we can also have these type of things at home. If someone is non-vegetarian, yes, they can go for that. Like in the corner side, you can see the chicken and the fish. This is the white meat along with the egg. These all three types are the healthy one. Rather, egg is not the non-veg thing. This is the vegetarian, or we can say vegetarian product. So we can have, but try to avoid the oil content, because all these non-veg items are containing so much of fat in itself. We can also prepare, I forgot to add on the picture for that. We can prepare now for the season vegetable achar. If you are really don't want to eat something, you want to have on added things, like you can prepare vegetable char, you can prepare adrak, mirchi with the sirka or apple cider vinegar or the lemon. This is a really wonderful thing. You can just put the small amount of black pepper, or prepare it just for the 3 to 6 days, so that it will little bit small amount of sodium can help out. Otherwise, more of the sodium may also again give the problem to the patient. We can also prepare nowadays haldi. Everybody knows market is also full of haldi, fresh haldi. What you can do, fresh haldi, just grate the haldi, add on the chili in that, green chili, just with a little bit of amount of oil or 1 teaspoon of ghee. You can just cook that vegetable and put the little bit amount of salt. Can add on as a chutney type of thing, and many type of chutneys you can really have if you are not having kidney diseases. So we should take into consideration, if patient is not having high level of potassium or something, they can also add on these type of things in their diet. So a few slides, 1 or 2 slides are also there. I want to share the facts about the sugar. Like most of the people say, come to me, patients say, ma'am, I'm just taking the very small amount of sugar. I can't stay without the sugar. I'm just adding little bit amount of sugar. So sugar might taste good to you. I always suggest them. But processed sugars are not good for them. Eating a lot of refined added sugar can lead to headaches, low energy levels, and inflammation. Cutting sugar out of their diet will likely decrease inflammation, boost their energy levels, and improve their ability to focus. And what happens when they stop eating sugar for a month? Expect withdrawal symptoms for the first few days. This is the reason they don't want to stop the eating sugar. These could be headaches, feeling achy and tired. But after, just console them that after the first few days, they should start to feel better. And by the second week, they will definitely increase their energy levels. And with the sugar, whatever the problem is going to be arise in a diabetic patient, this will not come into their life. So we should tell them, please avoid the sugar outrightly. What would block sugar absorption? We should understand, like sugar level, how can we reduce the sugar level a spike in our diet. If you are diagnosed with a diabetes, it is important that they maintain a steady blood sugar level, that we all know. And certain foods can help us just by, as I have already covered this topic, whole grain like bran, barley, and rye, so many things. nuts like almonds, walnut, pistachio, as well as the oil seed I have shown you in the picture. Apple cider vinegar is also a very good option. Cinnamon and non-starchy vegetables such as broccoli, carrots, cucumber, and all the vegetables available nowadays in the market in the winter season. We are really lucky. We are having variety of fruits, a variety of vegetables during this winter. So we can have all type of things. What is effect of water? We should take into consideration. Don't avoid water. Drinking 6 to 8 glasses of water per day is a must. This is a must thing I'm saying. We need to take 40 ml of water per kg body weight. Otherwise, during the winter season, most of the people avoid the drinking water. So avoid drinking water with meals because it dilutes stomach acid and leads to poor digestion. So bioavailability of nutrients is going to be reduced. Plus, along with that, whatever we are eating, it is going to be wasted of some of the portion of that. So add a squeeze of lemon into water for added benefits and some flavor as well. When blood sugar levels are running high, blood will try to flush excess sugar. As we can see with some of the patient out of blood through the urine. As a result, body will need more fluids to rehydrate itself. Sometimes we give diuretics as well to the patient, right? Drinking water can help the body with flushing out some of the glucose in the blood, keeping into consideration with effect on kidney or any other diseases. If doctor has advised to keep the limited amount of water, then we can't suggest to the patient that you should drink lots and lots of water. We should consider other disease condition or the other health condition of the patient. So what is our mission? Is the health. Enjoy life with positivity. Whatever is happening nowadays with the COVID era or so many things, we are struggling with the life, but we keep on enjoying life with the positivity, like sunsets, and always sun rises in the next morning. So whatever is the things are there going on, we should take care of the diet, our lifestyle, our sleep, our food, our medication, everything. Whatever is having in our body, that we have to take care of that. We should survive with all the things. So with this, a good quote, good health and good sense are two of life's greatest blessings. We should definitely be sensible about the availability surrounding us. We should not take as a we should be gratitude for that. We should not take it as a liberty that we are having so much of things. Why don't we use high calorie food? Why don't we can't have the processed food as we can afford? That's why we are doing. No, we need to take care of our health. We can just eat well with the nutritious diet and with the healthy foods. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, madam. Your talk was so complete